The Kargil Vijay Diwas, the war India won but never wanted. It was the summer of 1999. The world watched in silence as India stood on the edge of war once again. Not for conquest, not for glory, but to reclaim what was hers. In the thin air of the Himalayas, at altitudes where even breathing is a challenge, young Indian soldiers wrote a chapter of history with blood, grit, and unmatched courage. Let's see what is Kargil Vijay Diwas. Every year on July 26th, India observes Kargil Vijay Diwas, the day it officially declared victory in the Kargil War. A war that lasted over 60 days, fought between May and July of 1999, deep in the rugged mountains of the Kargil sector in Ladakh. Kargil Vijay Diwas is not just a day of remembrance. It is a solemn statute to the 527 Indian soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice. It's a reminder that the peace we enjoy today was earned at the cost of their lives. Let's see how did this begin. After the 1971 Indo-Pak War, India and Pakistan signed the Shimla Agreement pledging to respect the line of control. But in early 1999, while India was engaged in peace talks under the Lahore Declaration, the Pakistani army had a different plan. Under the command of General Muzaffar, Pakistani troops disguised as militants infiltrated into Indian territory and occupied strategic posts in the Kargil region. These infiltrators settled into Indian army bunkers that were temporarily vacated during harsh winters, a planned deception executed while peace negotiations were still ongoing. So, why is this important? Let's see. Kargil lies close to National Highway 1T, the vital road that connects Srinagar to Leh. If the enemy had succeeded, they could have cut off Ladakh from the rest of India. The intrusion was not just a territorial violation, it was a direct threat to India's sovereignty and logistical survival in the region. At altitudes exceeding 18,000 feet, the terrain gave the enemy a deadly advantage. They fired down at Indian troops who had to climb up steep cliffs under heavy shelling to reclaim their land. Operation Vijay, India Strikes Back. On 26th of May 1999, India launched Operation Vijay, a full-scale military campaign to flush out the intruders. Over 2 lakh Indian soldiers participated. The Indian Air Force joined with Operation Safed Sagar, deploying MiG-21s and MiG-27s, and the decisive Mirage 2000s, which used laser-guided bombs for precision strikes. Despite the risk, India made a principled decision not to cross the line of control, showing military resistance even while defending its honor. Let's see the battles that defined the war. Among the many had fought battles, a few became legendary. The recapture of Tolling Hill, Point 4875, and the iconic Tiger Hill symbolized India's resilience. Tiger Hill stood like a fortress. It took 6 days of intense combat for India to recapture it by July 4th of 1999. Soldiers had to scale vertical ice walls under machine gun fire in pitch darkness. It wasn't just a military win, it was psychological. The tricolor was once again hosted at the summit. The nation held its breath and then it rode in pride. Let's see the heroes of Kargil. Kargil gave India a generation of real heroes, men who walked into the face of death and didn't even flinch. Captain Vikram Batra, Paramveer Chakra, his battle cry, Ya Dil Mange More, became a national slogan. He was martyred while rescuing a fellow officer. Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav, despite being shot multiple times, climbed a vertical cliff and helped capture Tiger Hill. He survived and received the Paramveer Chakra. The next was Captain Manoj Pandey, Lieutenant Anirudh Nair, Major Rajesh Adhikari, Captain Saurabh Kalia, and all martyrs whose stories moved a nation. These were not just soldiers, they were sons, brothers, friends, and dreams wrapped in the Indian flag. Let's also see the global impact and Pakistani's denial. Initially, Pakistan denied involvement, calling the infiltrators Kashmiri freedom fighters, but India captured documents, radio transcripts, and even dead bodies in Pakistani uniforms. Facing international pressure, especially from the United States and G8 countries, Pakistan was isolated. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif was summoned onto Washington, and under diplomatic heat, Pakistan agreed to withdraw by mid-July. And on July 26th, India declared complete eviction of the intruders, but the scars always remained. Let's also see the aftermath and lessons we learned. The Kargil War changed Indian military doctrine. Surveillance was tightened, satellite imagery and drone tech were improved, and intelligence coordination was overhauled. For Pakistan, the war backfired. Musharraf's unauthorized operation cost Pakistan global credibility and thousands of lives. Eventually, he staked a coup and overthrew Sharif. But for India, it was a victory of unity, planning, and raw courage. Civil society, media, and citizens across religions and states came together in support of the armed forces. Let's see how India remembers Kargil Vijay Diwas. Every year, the Indian Prime Minister pays tribute at the Amar Jawan Jyoti. Ceremonies are held at the Kargil War Memorial in Diwas, where the names of martyrs are engraved on granite walls. Veterans march in honor. Students write poems. Families light candles. And across the country, voices echo with just one message. That is, we will never forget. A war we never wanted, a victory but we had to win. The Kargil War wasn't fought for land, it was fought for dignity. The sacredness of every inch of Indian soil. It was a reminder that eternal vigilance is the price of freedom. As missiles flew and bullets tore through mountain winds, one thing remained unshaken: the will of all the Indian soldiers. They climbed impossible heights so that we could sleep in peace. They gave up their lives so that India's flag would never fall. And that is why on Kargil Vijay Diwas, we don't just remember a war, we remember a moment when India stood tall with blood on her boots and pride in her heart. Kargil Vijay Diwas, saluting all of the bravest of the brave soldiers. Jai Hind.